Hey, here we go, BattleRap.com. BattleRapChris in the building. What a building it is. I don't know if you can see everything, but holy smokes, we're going to get kicked out of here really quickly. So I'm going to make this intro super quick, and then we're going to go somewhere where we won't get kicked out of. I'm here to talk about Born Legacy 3 Smack URLs card on August 27th, 28th. Pretty, big little card, which is what this Born Legacy series is supposed to do. Bringing some talent up from the PGs, giving them a major card look, a major medium card look, and then also some big cards, big battles on this card that we're going to talk about. My man P at the War Report said, "Chris, we need the white perspective. We need to know what the white people think about this." I don't know what the white people think about it, but I can tell you what I think about it. I am a white guy. I'm not going to deny it. But my point is that I'm going to give you a global perspective, not just the Smack scene or the New York scene, but kind of like the national, international, global battle rap scene, how this fits together, what's good, what to look out for, and I guarantee someone's going to come up and be like, "You guys can't be filming in here. What are you doing?" But just look at this. This is Toronto, guys. What a shot. What a shot. We'll go somewhere better right now. Here we go. Boom. Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about the bottom of the card to the top of the card. Day one, starting with Glueazy versus Bedaffi Green. These are two guys that have had some PGs, that have been, standouts, but not necessarily like the standout of the night. They've, I think, made progression as they've been going along, but we're still waiting for that breakout performance for them. Glueazy and Reaperell had a nice battle that I think was, still kind of minimally viewed. And for those who saw it, they're like, okay, let's see these guys a little bit more. But I think there's a lot of people who are still saying, like, who are these guys? And then Bedaffi Green is another guy who's, had his battles in New York, has been doing well, and had a really nice battle against Gutta, but I still think that Gutta won that battle. Bedaffi Green, has that gruffness to him. I think that Glueazy has the same. It's quite actually like a nice style matchup between the two of them, but I think that Glueazy's pen is a little bit sharper than Bedaffi Green's. I think that's going to be the difference when all the other things are essentially equal when it comes to their aggression and their performance and their, their attitude and their stage presence and all that. So, I have Glueazy taking that battle. Let's move on to the next one. Nunn versus Prez Mafia. Nunn versus Prez Mafia. This is like a pretty interesting battle. I think that Nunn is another guy who's been on a bunch of these PG cards, has been steadily progressing, but again, has never really been like the standout of the night. Him versus Av. Av, I think, smoked him 3-0, and that's not taking anything away from Nunn's performance, because I thought Nunn did really well, but Av was just like so good enough that we're going to talk about him much higher on this card against a huge name opponent. We'll get to that shortly. And then I think Nunn also beat Bonus and has kind of like been playing with like only on URL cards. We're not really seeing him anywhere else, or if he is anywhere else, we're not, he hasn't been making much noise with it. So I think we're seeing him like progress and kind of take that URL route. And what was I saying? And then the point is that Prez Mafia is a guy that if you're new to the game, or if you have a bad memory, you're going to say like, Prez Mafia, he's that guy that bit that verse. And yes, he is that guy that bit that verse, but there's much more to Prez Mafia. Prez Mafia, I think, actually like got his real breakout against Mr. Wavy. Was it Mr. Wavy? It was like on the first Born Legacy card. Prez has been popping since back then. He's been on the UFF Season 2. Did really well. I think, he didn't make it past, the second round or however far he got. But him and Ty Law, I think, had one of the standout battles, not only of that tournament, but of that year, across all of URL's battles. So Prez Mafia, you can still hold it against him that he took that verse, and I think he's, admitted it and has moved on. Like, who hasn't cheated at a game of whatever, or cheated on a test or whatever? My point is that Prez Mafia, like, knew what he did, and sometimes life catches up to you, and he's made amends. He's moved on, and I think that this is a really good battle. I think Prez Mafia is going to take it. I think that there's, he's just has always been this talent, and sometimes you make a mistake, but I don't think he's going to bite any more verses, guys. So I'd say Nunn, watch out. I think Nunn will do great, but I think that Prez Mafia is a real talent, and I think he's going to win the battle. Let's talk about the third battle on the card. It is Tink the Demon versus Swave Sevah. Tink has intensity unlike anything really in all of battle rap. He's got like this fury to him. He's there's a famous painting of what was it, like Jupiter eating the god or whatever, and that's how I see Tink performing. He's just like he's flossing with tendons and like using a bone as a toothpick, and he's a monster. His performance with against Mike P in the building, I thought was just like so much fun and so different and like just like awesome in the sense of the word of like being in awe of something. And I think that it translates a little bit to camera, but it really only captures like a fraction of the sheer like anger and energy that he brings to the ring. I really like that. And then Swave Sevah is a guy, total veteran, who's been kind of asking URL for bigger looks. And I think that, a look against one of their top up-and-comers is a pretty good look. Swave, I think it's like such a huge style clash because Tink's going to be sweating and fierce and furious. And I kind of get the feeling that Swave's just going to kind of look at him and be like, really? This is what battle rap is right now? So I think that could work for them. It's going to be a very big style clash. We saw Swave against Show Off. Show Off had this like huge energy when he was battling on RBE. I think one of the Blood Sweater Tiers 1, I think it was. And, Swave like just looked at him and was like, really? We're just doing like word association and all this bluster when he was just like talking directly to him. And I think we're going to see that same approach from Swave because that's really just like the old school approach that battle rap used to do, which is just like, I'm going to talk to you about why you're whack and why I'm better than you. So I think this will be a cool battle. I think that it's like kind of two very different energies coming at each other, but I think that that's not a bad thing. I think that that's a good thing. Let's change environments. Boom. Okay, we're still going. 4 more battles to talk about. Number 1, Chess versus the Saga. I think this is an interesting matchup. It almost feels like kind of a UFF matchup because both these guys came out of that same UFF class that T-Top, Briz Rothstein, Prep, who else was in that? A bunch of other guys. So, I think that they both came out of that class. They both, like, saw their stock soar, and then they've kind of, like, slowed down a little bit. Chess has been busy battling DNA, like, 3 different times now. He battled DNA at Rookies versus Vets, which was his real, like, breakout performance. Crazy performance. I think that, Chess was the rookie star of that night. And then they had the 2-on-2 where it was Chess and Steams versus DNA and K-Shine. And then when that fell apart, they did it again. So Chess like kind of kept battling DNA and DNA and K-Shine. And, I think that we didn't see him like really like evolve by taking on different opponents with different styles because of that. We did see him versus Reed Dallas in a pretty cool battle in the building. I think it happened at the end of the night after a bunch of crazy battles, so the energy was a bit lacking, and I think that impacted the outcome of the battle. But we still saw that shine, that like glimmer of potential, a pretty, not even just like a glimmer, like a fucking strobe lighted potential from Chess. I think that it'd be nice to see him kind of like in shorter rounds. I think that his writing really shines when he's got something to say, but then he gets in a habit of like just trying to like say more and more and more and fill those round times up. Whereas the Saga, I think it has like, he might be known for his pen more, but I think that they have similar like levels of writing, and Chess has the intensity, whereas Saga has a much more like refined flow, almost reminiscent of Chilla Jones, someone who's like kind of more methodical with their delivery. And he's another guy that came out of that tournament. He got washed by T-Top in a very highly publicized loss for him, but I think he bounced back from that really, really well and had a really nice battle with Prep on that kind of small room battle, whatever card that was, and has been making progression. He had the battle, he joined NWX, so he's been kind of going through that, and he's still making a name for himself. He's making music, he's staying busy, and I think that this is a good opportunity for both of them to like reestablish themselves, to build a bit more momentum, and to like whoever wins this battle, or maybe they both win the battle, can platform into a much bigger look for one of the bigger cards coming up. But I think both of these guys have shown a lot of promise and shown very like almost like, distinct personalities, representative of who they are and what they can do. So I would say Chess is going to win this just because I like his intensity in the building, and I find that can often barrel over an opponent, especially someone like the Saga that's a bit more kind of laid back with his delivery. Let's move on to the next one. Av versus B Magic. Holy shit. This is, if not the most exciting matchup on any card across the world right now. It's definitely like top 3. Av is like the most impressive newcomer. And I say newcomer, he's not even really that much of a newcomer. He's been around a while. It's like, he's been in was it Seven City Sharks, I think is the league, but he's had a few opportunities. He battled Seams back on some league in Virginia. He battled Ty Law, and he's been kind of bouncing around that DMV area. And, he's had some PGs, like I said, against Nunn. He was so impressive. He was so impressive against Mike P. He was so impressive against Rum Nitty. And he absolutely deserves a name like B Magic, which is, arguably the biggest name on the card. And also, this is a really important battle because it's the two of them have a similar, like, back-to-back punch style that B Magic arguably, like, popularized, and Av does it still so creatively. He does it, I find his writing is very much like to himself. Like, no one else writes like Av. Kind of like the way no one quite writes like B Magic, even though everyone tries to write like these guys and write punchlines that are so simple but so creative and never been said before, and then mixing it with like great references, to hip hop, to movies, to pop culture, all that kind of stuff. I think that this matchup is a little bit like, Ty Law versus B Magic was considered like the punchline king battle. B Magic versus Conceited was seen as the punchline king battle. By my estimate, I think B Magic won both those battles and still remains like the punchline champion right now. So this, in my opinion, is the punchline champion battle. And I think that, what makes them a little bit different here is that Av has that aggression, and he has that that force that when those punches land, it hits harder and harder and harder. Whereas B Magic has this way where he doesn't want to get stopped. He's got like this flow where he's just like tossing ninja stars, and it's just like everything's hitting. So I'm hoping that B Magic's strength is his flow, is his ability to like get into that performance groove, that delivery groove, whereas Av can get into that, but as we saw with Av versus Rum Nitty, that crowd, that Born Legacy crowd, is going to go crazy after every reaction, and I think that both these guys are going to bring enough content that they're going to get stopped every line. I don't know who's going to win this battle. I think Av's aggression could make the difference. I think that they're both very, very, very strong writers. I think they're two of the best punchers in the game, across all leagues right now. And holy shit, I'm excited for this battle. I can't wait to hear what happened and to see it. So that, I think that in my heart is like the main event. But there's still 2 more battles to talk about, and they're both like very exciting battles to talk about. Mr. Wavy versus Young Ill. Young Ill's kind of been away from the scene for a while. He's been slowly coming back. He had the 2-on-2 where him and Math teamed up in their return. Thought he was like good. He addressed the health issues he'd been having, the drug issues he'd been having, or that he'd been perceived to be having. And then he's kind of like been around. He's had some battles. Again, I'm still waiting for like the good old Ice Pack Ill kind of thing. We haven't quite seen it yet, but I think this small room is a great opportunity for that to happen. And when he's battling Mr. Wavy, who's coming off of, I guess, a loss to John on the Summer Madness Summer Madness 6 stage, 5 stage, and it was like pretty bad in the building. And I think that Wavy had all this momentum going into it, and John just had took that veteran upper hand on him and was able to pull out that victory. So both of these guys are kind of looking for their footing, looking for some momentum, and I think that's when you get guys like at their most dangerous, because they're like, I'm here, I'm like, I want my place back, I want to be back at the top again. So I think also the pairing is a really nice one in that they have like similar like attitudes. They're kind of laid back guys. They're like charismatic guys. They're kind of funny, kind of smooth, and I think that the two of their energies will play off each other well, in that they're both going to be like trying to outcool the other one. In terms of a winner, I'll say Ice Pack. I'll say Young Ill. No real reason, but that's just my instinct that the veteran is usually the one that comes out ahead. And one more battle to talk about. It's Rum Nitty versus Ill Will. Again, this is a really exciting battle that I'm kind of surprised that we aren't hearing more people debate, talk about, be excited about. Nitty has established himself as, a main eventer on this Born Legacy series. He's been, I've been talking about Nitty for 5 years, and, I don't know why people are just starting to pay attention to him now, but he's had a ton of big opponents, both, from King of the Dot as he made his rise there, and then now that he's transitioned over to URL,